And then, what am I thinking about? I'm thinking about we're live. Look at how pumped up. You know what I just realized? The reason I put the Jacobs jersey there was just so I could have a Raider thing in the background. It looks like we just copied each other's rooms because you have the Kobe jersey.
Like I didn't even notice that.
I know. Anyway, my name is Rodney. His name is Eric. We're back for another episode, whatever you want to call it. Thursday night quarterbacks, Thursday afternoon quarterbacks, more like it. Listen, it's been 3 weeks. I haven't talked to you since that episode because we're really not friends outside of this. How have you been as you take a drink of water?
I'm good, man. You know, living life. Summertime, trying to get my tan going.
Well, it's not working.
How are you?
I listen. I'm great. I'm fantastic. That's what I wanted to do. I don't know if you saw this. And listen, you guys saw the title. We're going to get into AFC West predictions. If you start commenting or whatever, we'll throw those comments up on the screen. I don't know if you saw this. I don't know if you're a big Pro Football Focus guy. I usually am because they do a lot of research and blah, blah, blah. But they came out with their roster rankings, which is probably something that we should reference when it comes to predicting, the standings and stuff like that. And this isn't a Raider-centric video, obviously, but they're in the AFC West. Let's see if I could actually – I wonder if I could just look at this without signing up for Pro Football Focus. Yes, I can. Okay. Where do you think the Raiders are? It's just they ranked every roster top to bottom. What range would you say the Raiders are?
I would say the middle. So I would say 14 to 19. Okay,
I would say that's fair. Let me just show this to you so you could see where they have them. Or where they have the Raiders. And then I guess we could look at the other AFC teams in comparison to this. This is a good idea that I had on the spot. Okay, let's do this. Okay, can you see that?
Yep.
They're 26th.
Oh, Jesus.
Out of 32.
That's bad.
That's not great. Biggest strength, Darren Waller. Biggest weakness, everything. Yeah, that's not great. I like how they have this set up here. It makes it easier to look at, everything that they have going for them.
Wait, I have a question. Yeah, okay, scroll down. That means the Broncos and the Chargers.
Everyone is ahead of them. Yeah. So if the Raiders are at 26.
Wow.
Then you have the Falcons at 25. Then you have the Bengals at 24. The Bears at 23. Holy moly, where's Denver? Okay, Denver's ahead of San Diego. Los Angeles, I guess. Chargers are at 20. Okay, what is happening? I feel like I'm in the Twilight Zone right now. Where's Denver?
Who ranked this?
Pro Football Focus.
It has to be 32.
No, am I crazy?
Oh. No, they're not top. Oh. You heard what I was about to say? I'm like, there's nowhere they're top 10, and I see them as that's god awful.
Pro Football Focus. If I was paying for a subscription, I wouldn't be anymore, but I'm not. This is crazy. Wow. I mean, okay, listen, they had a lot of injuries last year. I understand that, but they don't have a quarterback. They have Drew Lock / Teddy Bridgewater. You think I'm scared of that?
Drew Lock, 63.5. Sick.
And listen, Jerry Jeudy was good last year when he caught the football. He had a lot of drops. And, you're sort of a wide receiver and need to catch the football. I can't believe this right now. I tell you what, this is not indicative of where I'm going to have them.
I guess they're going by, on paper, right?
Okay. I still take the Raiders. And I would take the Chargers roster over the freaking Denver roster.
I agree. I'm just saying it's right, but their roster might sound good, but their player, they don't perform well, that's god awful.
Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, this is fair. I mean, this is a great football team, the Kansas City Chiefs.
Who's won? Bucks?
Yeah. By the way, we could
even though Browns at 3,
I mean, they do have a good on paper
roster.
They got a lot of good right here. I forgot they signed Clowney too. That's kind of scary if this works out. Honestly, Odell's the key here. If Odell is Odell, then they could win the Super Bowl. If he's not, then I'm not scared of their offense.
Baker's the key.
Well, he's going to take a step back. I'll put $1,000. He has a worse season than he did last year.
Wow.
Actually, no, I won't actually. But I can't believe I'm looking at this right now, and it's Denver at 10.
I don't even want to look at that.
Can we just start with? Okay, let's talk about the Denver Broncos. Well, I guess I'll leave this up. Last year, because I just did my win-loss predictions video. If you haven't seen that, go check that out. But I'm about to spoil it. I'm going to spoil what it is. I have them going 10-7. Okay, so I have the Raiders going 10-7. But the reason I say that is last year I watched my video last year to see how I did, and I had them going 10-6. They ended up going 8-8. They lost a few games they should have won. They won a couple games they should have lost. It evened out. However, I mentioned the Broncos in that video, and I said I thought the Broncos were going to be a wild card team because 2 years ago, Drew Lock played really well. So I thought he would step up, and they would also win 10 games. He was bad. Their whole team was bad. They couldn't score. Their defense was okay, and they didn't do that well. So I'm out on Denver now. I'm completely out on them. I guess my main question to you is there any way they win more than 7 games, the Denver Broncos?
No.
No. Why not? Why not?
Like, as much as their defense is like good, they don't really have like a top 10 offense to perform and put up numbers. Like, nowadays, the NFL is a high scoring league, and like you said, with Drew Lock or Teddy Bridgewater, they're not like quarterbacks. You're like, oh, they could win a lot of games with them. Like, the only way they win games is their defense holding to like an offense to a low amount of points, and like that's so hard. And I don't think if they have 8 wins, what is that, 8 and 9 this year? Then no, that's too much for them. I'm going under 7.
I wonder, we should do that too. I'm going to look up the Denver Broncos. Actually, can you do that? Can you just look up on your phone Denver Broncos win-loss total while I talk about the Broncos for a second?
Got it.
Now, listen, they have some great pieces here offensively. It just comes down to the quarterback for me, and I just don't see it.
What do you think?
Over under for Denver Broncos?
Yeah, so over under 7.5.
Is that what it is?
Yep.
Well, there you go. I love how I said, do you think they get more than 7 wins? It's so tough because of that extra game. Like, if they get 8, I wouldn't be shocked. But I say under. I would put $10 on under. I wouldn't put 20 on it, but I'd put 10. They
play the Chiefs twice and the Raiders twice. Like, that's 0-4. Let's put it that way.
Well, I do have them splitting just because for whatever reason they always play the Raiders well. It's just one of those interdivisional. Okay.
I would love to look at the Broncos schedule, but like just looking at win total 7.5 and their roster and their quarterback, I'm going right straight under. Like, they had 5 wins last year. Like, they're gonna be 5, 6, 7 win team. No more than that.
I'm pulling up the Denver Broncos schedule right now. Okay, yeah, this is a very interesting schedule. Let's see. So I'm going to stop sharing this. And then, again, it comes down to the quarterback. I don't know. Maybe Bridgewater wins the job and he plays well, and they shock the world. I don't know.
When we ranked the quarterbacks, we both had either Lock or Bridgewater in the bottom 10 of the list. Like, a bottom 10 quarterback's not putting up 8, 9 wins.
I agree. You can see this, yeah?
Yep.
Okay. So the first 3 games are winnable games. They might come out swinging, okay? Although I would actually predict them to lose to the Giants just right now if Barkley is 100% healthy. But then look at this stretch. Ravens, Steelers, Raiders, Browns, football team, Cowboys. Yikes.
0-5.
Yikes. And then you have a couple squeakers in here like the Eagles and the Lions, but then you still haven't played the Chiefs yet or the Chargers yet, and the Bengals are going to be sneaky good. Like, that's I don't see more than 3 games on here that I go, yeah, they probably win those games.
All right, quick glance. I would say Bengals win, Lions win, Eagles maybe, and then like you said, the first three. That's most 7 wins.
At most, that's best case scenario.
And,
yeah, I don't.
Unless they beat the Chargers once, no, because they would have to go 3-0 in the first 3 games to go like nearly 7 or 8 wins. Like that's that's a tough schedule.
They would need a Legion of Boom type performance from their defense in order to make the playoffs this year.
The middle part of their schedule are like all playoff teams.
Yeah, and listen, they might not be a bad team, but if we're talking about who's 4th place in the AFC West, I got them 4th, no question.
Same here.
No question. They're the only team that I just don't see them even sniffing the playoffs.
Yeah.
Like last year, you needed 11 wins to get in. I don't know what you're going to need this year, but they're not going to come close to 11 wins.
Even if they have 8-9 wins, they're not going to be a playoff team.
No, probably not. Maybe not even 10. Who knows?
Yeah.
Like you might have 6 teams with 10 wins.
Yep.
Okay. So we both are in consensus they're the 4th best team in the AFC West. Yeah?
Yep.
Okay. So should I just – I'm assuming we both have the Chargers at 3.
Yep. Chargers at 3, and their win total is 9.
Oh, boy. What a good win total, man. Vegas knows. Over, under. I'll let you answer that first because I answered the last one first.
Well, 1, I answered it first. 2.
Wait, did you do that? Oh, yeah, you did. That's true. Ooh. 9?
We'll do it. We'll put up 9.5 because 9. If they hit 9, it's a tie. Or you want to go 8.5? Do 8.5.
Okay. If it's 8.5, I'll take the over.
Okay.
I'll take the over. If it's 9, I think they're going to win 9 games.
Okay.
Can I bet that they hit it exactly?
Hit tie at 9.
It's almost as crazy as taking overtime yesterday. Anyway. Ardo says Chargers, Raiders, and Broncos are strong enough to put a fight, but I think regardless of Broncos. Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. Okay, I have the Pro Football Focus thing here for the Chargers. The Chargers are interesting because of.
Why'd you say over? Let me hear like 1 or 2 reasons why you say over.
Well, I just think. What did they win last year? 6 games.
No,
and,
they more than 6. No.
If it wasn't 6, it was 7.
Okay.
It was either 6 or 7 wins. And Justin Herbert looked like really good. Like he ended up with like his stats were good enough to be like a Pro Bowler for a whole season, and he missed like 4 games or something like that. But
do you think he's going to do that? Like, if not better?
Well, I don't think he's going to be better. I think he's going to be slightly worse. It's the Mahomes thing. Mahomes threw 50 touchdowns his first year, then he threw 25 his second year. But they're still like. They got weapons, dude. Like, look at this. They got Eckler, Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, Jared Cook. Their offensive line's really good. They have Joey Bosa.
He's in the best.
Derwin James, Chris Harris, Asante Samuel Jr. is a nice little pick.
They have a great offensive roster, no doubt about it.
They have a good defensive roster, too. Who's their coach? Why can't I think of their coach?
Is it Anthony? A new one.
They did? They just got a new coach?
New head coach. I don't know his name, but I know it's a new head coach.
Did they? Yeah.
Right there. It says first year. Okay.
Where is it? Oh.
Strength, first year head coach, Brandon Staley.
Brandon Staley. That does sound familiar.
He was able to work with 2 of the best defenders in the NFL last season.
So he was the defensive coordinator for the Rams. Okay, that's interesting. They do not have an offensive head coach there.
But what? Yeah, that's not all right. So that's going to kill Herbert, in my opinion.
I don't think it's going to kill him. I think he's a good. Here's what we're going to find out about Herbert: is he a system guy, or is he good enough to play outside of the system? I think like Rodgers, Mahomes, Brady, they're outside the system guys. Russell Wilson, they could play anywhere.
Yeah, they got a defensive head coach and a whole new playbook.
It's true. Yeah, that's true. You're starting to sway me. Maybe it is under.
I'm going to go under 8.5. I would say 7, 8 wins, though. Like, it's going to be right on the board. It's not going to be, like, way under. And if they go over, it's going to be, like, 9 wins. Like, it's not very noticeable, be like, hammer that.
Yeah, and I mean, like, let me ask you this: if they won 11 games and made the playoffs, would you be shocked? I wouldn't be shocked. I'd be surprised, but I would not be shocked.
If they made a run, no, I wouldn't be shocked.
Because now we could do. So I guess we'll do this.
You want to bring up their schedule?
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, I see them as like floor is like 5 wins, ceiling is like 11. It's like one of those where it could go either way, similar to the Raiders, honestly.
Well, if you think about it, with the defensive now head coach, he could make their defense like better than it was last year, which could improve them a lot more. Their offense is elite. Now, if he can make their defense a little bit better, I would argue that what's going over the win total.
I know, yeah,
That's crazy.
They're very interesting.
Vegas knows.
Vegas knows. Yeah, they are a very interesting team. I'm pulling up the Chargers schedule right here. Okay. So they come out tough. Wow. Yikes. Before the bye week, they have nothing but heavy hitters.
Basically.
Wow.
Well, predict the first 5 games right there. What's their record?
2-4. They could beat honestly, they might beat the Raiders and the Cowboys. I don't know. The football team's going to be really good. They won the division last year. Their defense is sick. Their offense is going to be better now that they have Fitzpatrick.
If they win 2 games, I'm going with Cowboys and Ravens.
Interesting. Why do you say Baltimore?
Because those are like 2 offensive teams, and I feel like it's just gonna be a shootout, and like that's one of the like games they might win, like maybe like last 2-minute drive or like a shockingly defensive stop. I don't think they're beating the Browns because they have a great defense and a great offense. Raiders, dub. Chiefs, no way. Washington football team, like you said, they won the division last year. They're going to come out hot with Fitzpatrick. And the Cowboys, they're a huge question mark right now.
Now, I'm trying to figure out which games are home and which are away. I think the dark ones are home. I think. I'm not positive. I can't tell.
Home is blue. Home is blue.
Oh, home is blue. Oops, I just clicked on their Twitter. Home is blue. Okay. Yeah, okay. The reason why I think they're going to split with the Raiders, so I gave them their home win against the Raiders. Now, listen, if they beat the Browns or the football team, I would not be shocked. But I'm just trying to be as realistic as I can. Now, if we get later on into the season, Patriots probably a dub, Eagles probably a dub, Vikings are not very good. We don't know what's going on with the Steelers offense. The Broncos, the Giants, the Texans, like their schedule's top heavy. So if they could get out of there, if they could get out of these first 3 games at 3-3, that's an absolute win. Because then they could go on a run. They could maybe get to 11 or 10 if everything comes together. If the coach isn't the right guy, then, well, you're going to struggle. God, can I get comfortable? Jesus. So I think I have them finishing at a solid 3rd, but if they have 9 wins and come in 3rd, I don't think that's necessarily a failure for them. I don't know.
But I agree. I think they come in 3rd and they're going to have around the 7 to 9 win range. And
look at this comment. Look at this. I think that's a question for another show. Yeah, I'm sorry. What were you saying? You said 9 wins?
7 to 9, around that range.
7 and 10.
7 to 10, you think?
Oh, I thought you were saying their record is going to be 7 and 9. I was saying
no, like 7 to. They're going to have 7 to 9 wins.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, that's pretty good. And
well,
maybe 9 gets in.
If they start off 0-6. 0-6-5, no.
I wouldn't be shocked, but I feel like they're going to be competitive in every single one of these games. Like all of these could be one possession games, and they could lose all of them.
Yeah.
Like, that's actually a thing the Chargers do often.
They blow it in the end.
Right, but that was with Rivers, you know?
Yeah, Phil Rivers knows that best.
Uh, not last year. Jeez, they were really good. I'll tell you the Colts, that is. Okay, well, it's time. The moment you've all been waiting for. Who will finish second? It's going to be really funny when you say the Kansas City Chiefs, and I'm like, what? We have the Raiders finishing second, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I struggle with the Raiders. I think I have them finishing second because I truly believe it, but also because they're my favorite team.
Yeah. You want to hear this?
Sure, I do. Let's
Guess
hear
their
it.
win total.
Oh, I know it's like 6.5 or something like that.
7.5.
Yeah, I know. I'm hammering the over there.
Just do the show. Just come hammer.
Yeah,
And hammer.
Here's the thing with the Raiders, though. Their offseason was weird. Again, like it always is. You had the generic quarterback rumor, or will they, won't they, with Rodgers and Carr.
But they kept their core players.
They lost Aguilar, but I was thinking about this a couple days ago. Would I rather have Kenyon Drake or Nelson Aguilar? I would take Drake all day because when Jacobs comes out, there is a significant drop-off. Now, if Kenyon Drake is the backup, who had 900 yards last season, that's a massive upgrade. And now Henry Ruggs and Bryan Edwards and Renfro get to develop instead of Aguilar stealing all of their targets. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like, Kenyon Drake is not stunting Josh Jacobs' development. Jacobs has already developed into he's had 1,000 yards his first 2 years in the league. Aguilar, as good as he was like sort of stunting Henry Ruggs and Bryan Edwards. So I think their offense is going to be good as it was last year, if not better, because they also picked up John Brown, who 2 years ago had 1,000 yards. The only reason he didn't have 1,000 yards this year is because Stephon Diggs got traded to the Bills. And it just comes down to their defense.
All right. I'll put it this way. If their defense plays a fraction better, they win 2 more games last year, and they're in the playoffs.
100%.
Just a little bit better. And they signed defensive players. They had a good, I would say, okay, offseason. Like, it could have been better.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think their defense can't get worse. They were ranked 31st and last in fourth quarter points. It was god awful.
And now they have Gus Bradley, who was the guy who created the Legion of Boom, and he's like a legit defensive coordinator. Now here's the thing: I'm looking at this. I'm pulling up their schedule real fast. I'm looking at this Pro Football Focus thing, and I'm wondering if those numbers, by the rookies, because they have little stars by them, or what they have them ranked as rookies or projections, because if Trayvon Merrick, our second round pick safety, is already ranked higher than Yannick Ngakoue, I mean, that's a really good sign.
Yeah.
And then you have our right tackle, who we just drafted in the first round at an 80. Like, here's the thing. The reason why the win total is so low for the Raiders is because not only is their defense bad, but people are like, they decimated their offensive line. I can't believe what they did.
Mm.
Now, when Rodney Hudson got hurt, who was our center, Andre James came in and he balled out. So I'm not worried about that. Denzel Good's also another good right tackle. Richie Incognito's sick. Colton Miller's sick. And Leatherwood is highest ranked out of all of them. So I'm not worried about the offensive line. Again, it just comes down to the defense.
Agreed.
Yeah, go ahead.
Like I said before, if their defense steps up, or even, like I said, plays a little bit better, they're a playoff team, no doubt about it. And I'm having the over wins. They're at least 10-7. If their defense can step up and play elite level, 12 wins.
I don't disagree with you. I mean, Quentin Jefferson, Yannick Ngakoue, Casey Hayward, 3 huge signings in the offseason. And then you don't even have Max Crosby on this list, who had 10.5 sacks his rookie year and 7 last year. So I don't know, man. On paper it's better. We'll see how the wide receivers, if Henry Ruggs could take that next step and he can get to 850 yards, I think they should win 10 games. I really do. Is that enough to get you into the playoffs? I have literally no idea. But
No, first year.
I think that's good enough. I don't know.
Can you bring up the schedule?
Yeah, I'm doing that right now. You read my mind.
But if you go by the roster list, they got Chiefs 1, Broncos 2, Chargers 3, Raiders 4.
A distant 4. Honestly, a distant 4 and 3. They had Denver at 10, or LA at 20. That's crazy.
Crazy.
Okay. So here it is. It's not top heavy or bottom heavy. It's really spread out throughout.
Good.
These two games right here, I see them splitting. I don't know which one they're going to win, which one they're going to lose. I gave them this win because it's home, the Ravens. And then this little run here, this could be dub central, these next 5.
Wow. Yeah.
And then this is the chunk where you got to maybe win some games you weren't supposed to. You got to beat the Chiefs once. You probably got to beat at least the Browns or the Colts. And you got to take care of your division. That's what it comes down to right there, this chunk. What do you think?
Honestly, you want my honest opinion?
Yeah.
13-4 after.
Oh, no.
Jesus Christ.
Who are the 4 losses?
Chiefs 1.
Okay.
Ravens or Steelers.
Okay.
I would say football team and then another division game.
Yeah, I take it. I mean, there's a lot of winnable games here.
Colts without Rivers with Carson Wentz. It's a question mark, but I think that's a dub.
Okay.
Like, there's no way they get 11, 12 wins again. Maybe, but I don't expect that.
Okay.
And maybe there's a lot of their defense just can't get worse. If they, oh my god.
But if it stays the same, that's just as bad.
Okay, that's true. But all right,
it's got to improve. It has no choice but to improve, right?
Yeah, I oh my god.
It's frustrating, right? Because you know on paper this should be like a 13
Browns
win.
last year, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so why can't they do it again?
I agree.
No one knows. Like, they play the NFC East. That division is like either 4 wins or 12 wins. So that's the only problem. But I really think they could get easily 12 wins. 11, 12 wins.
Yeah, I have them at 10. I think that's pretty safe. The only thing we're not taking into account is like last year. Last year I looked at the schedule and I was like, well, the Chargers, they got Tyrod Taylor, so that's 2 dubs. The Colts are not very good, and then all of a sudden the Colts are sick and Herbert's sick and they lose those games. You know what I mean? And it's like the Dolphins too. Was like last year. I was like the Dolphins. They just had 5 wins. They're not going to lose to the Dolphins. So what if by week 2 Justin Fields is just balling out, and the Bears are sick? What if Carson Wentz he's back? It's the second coming of Carson Wentz, and he's balling out.
Right.
You just never know. I mean, that's why they're predictions. That's why they're guesses. But I think I would put a lot of money on over 7.5 wins.
Me too.
If they win 4 games, they might as well blow it up. They might as well just restart. And they won't because Gruden's on a 10-year contract. But they should. I don't know. Okay. So we got Broncos at 4, and Chargers at 3, Raiders at 2. Is there anything you want to say about the Raiders before we go to the Chiefs?
Oh, also, I think fans for the first time in Vegas.
Oh yeah.
They might go like 7-1 at home or 6-2 at home. Like, that place is gonna be rocking.
Do you know what they were at home last year?
Were they 4-4?
2-6. And they were 6-2 on the road. How crazy is that?
You just I think validated my point even more.
I just blew your mind. You like short circuited.
13 wins, like, wow. 2-6. That's bad.
Really bad. Okay. Oh, let's just get this out of the way because the Kansas City Chiefs are a really good football team. I think of any team in the league this year, they have the best chance of going undefeated. I don't think anyone will, but I think they probably have the best chance. Would you agree?
Them or the Bucks.
God, I can't stand the Bucks. Like that just came out of nowhere. Well, obviously it's because Brady is there now. Yeah, listen, I mean, there's not much to say about the Chiefs that hasn't already been said. They're ridiculous. Mahomes is the best quarterback in the league, not close. They've got weapons everywhere. Did they have the best play caller in sports? Their
There's not
defense.
much to say because everyone knows the deal with this team.
You know what's funny with them is their defense sucks until the playoffs, and then they're like, you can't score on them for some reason.
Get it.
It's really good. I don't know what else to say. Should we just go to the schedule? Do you want to talk about their roster?
I mean, no. Schedule, please.
Okay, so let's do this.
They literally don't have a weakness. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
Oh,
It's unfortunate. Let's go to the schedule. I'm trying to do this, and it's not coming out. Okay, here we go. I have not seen this until right now. Oh, they start with. Oh no, those first three are preseason games. So disregard these. Cleveland, Baltimore, LA. Okay. I mean, if things go the Raiders' way, they could lose 2 of those games. I don't think they will, but they could. They got the. I mean, this is not an easy schedule. They got the Bills, the football team, the Titans, the Packers, the Steelers are in there. That's interesting. I don't know. What do you think?
I'm just observing right now.
I think I see probably 12 wins here. Pretty confident 12. They could win the rest of them. They could lose the rest of them.
Let's see what their over-under is.
It's probably, 10? No, it's probably like 11.
12.
Jesus Christ. Of course, I said they probably got about 12 wins. I would guess I would take the over. Because there's an extra game. Bet. Say it again.
That's a safe bet. Like, are they really gonna go like 10-7, 11-6? Probably not.
I mean, the Packers game is in Kansas City.
I would say worst case scenario, just looking at their schedule, they could start 0-2. Doubt it. That's a 10% chance of happening, but right. They could. Then they lose to the Titans, lose to the Bills.
Packers.
Lose to the Raiders and lose to the Packers. That's like the most. That's 6 losses.
You know, we didn't even talk about if Aaron Rodgers ends up on the Raiders or the Broncos. I mean, if I'm
right now, I haven't heard anything about it in 3 weeks. So like, I don't even know what to say about that.
He has like 3 days to like opt out of the season.
He has 3 more days.
Something like that. I think I read something like that. I mean, if he's on the Raiders, they could win 13 games. If he's on the Broncos, they could win 11 games. Like it doesn't. I mean, there's no point in predicting something that's not real right now. It's just interesting to think about. Yeah, I mean the Chiefs are really good. There's nothing else really to say. They're gonna.
All right, if you look, Steelers home, Browns home, Bills home, Raiders they have a end of the schedule home game. Like all their like major games, I just said they might lose are majority home.
That's unfortunate.
Packers home.
Yep.
Like
Browns home.
That's what I'm saying. They go on the road versus Eagles, Ravens. Like
they got the Titans and the Ravens also away, but those are probably their 2 hardest games on the schedule.
Bills.
That's home though.
Well, yeah.
I don't know. They're gonna be really good. They're gonna win the division.
I'd say 13-4.
I agree. 12-5, 13-4.
Yeah.
It's still I'm still not used to those new totals. Those new win totals.
It feels weird, like coming out of my mouth.
That's what she said. So we have Chiefs 1, Raiders 2, Chargers 3, Broncos 4. Yeah? Do we want to make any bold, like super bold? Is there anything that we want to just put our name on right now? Did we make a bet the last? Did we make a bet?
Last video, I think.
Oh no, you were supposed to come up with something, and I was supposed to take the crazier side or something.
Oh,
because it's Josh
give me a
Allen.
week. Give me 1 more week, 'cause I forgot.
Yeah, 1 more week. Yeah, well, I mean, I forgot too.
Well, the Chiefs, I wouldn't be surprised if they're back there. I don't think the Broncos and Chargers are making a run. If the Raiders get into the playoffs, we say this, I feel like every year, like they could go, but who knows with them?
Who knows with that, man? Here's my bold prediction. I mean, this isn't entirely bold, but I say you have. I think the worst team in this division, the Denver Broncos, finished with 8 wins, and I think you have 3 teams with double-digit wins.
Wow.
I think the Chiefs end up with 13, the Raiders end up with 10 or 11, and the Chargers end up with 10. That's my bold prediction. Because the more I look at that Chargers roster, the less I think they're going to be bad. And if their head coach is halfway decent, they could easily win 10 games. And I said that last year about the Broncos. So,
but if they all have like double-digit wins, like that means their division records gonna have to be like 3-3 or 4.
oh, I have the Raiders splitting every single series. Because even division games that like the Cardinals 2 years, like they're not that great, but they always freaking battle with the Rams and the Seahawks. The division teams just play hard against each other. That's just what happens.
Yeah, agreed.
Like the Raiders, if you think about it, at the end of the season, didn't come close to the playoffs. They were 3 games out when it was all said and done, even though they were 6-3 at one time. They played the Chiefs better than anyone last year that didn't win the Super Bowl. And partly is because they're the division rival and that they just elevate their level of play.
Yep.
So that's my bold prediction.
Is that why you're coming in optimistic about the 3-3 record? Because like no doubt about it, they could easily go 0-2 versus the Chiefs.
And they could easily go 2-0.
Well, yeah.
Exactly.
Last year.
So what you do is
what's more likely to happen? 2-0 or 0-2?
I would say against the Broncos 2-0, against the Chargers 0-2.
What about the Chiefs?
Obviously, you're more likely to go 0-2.
Yeah.
Honestly, here's what it might be. It might be 0-2 against the Broncos, 2-0 against the Chargers. I'm sorry. It might be 0-2 against the Broncos, 1-1 Chargers, and then 1-1 Chiefs. That might be what it is. And hey, you get the 3-3 that way too.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe the Chiefs. Now I'm starting to think about taking the under for the Chiefs because
that's low.
I know, but listen, the division. You said it yourself. They beat up on each other.
Okay, I get that. Like I said that, but even if they go 3-3, that's 6 games. So that means they have 11 more games
to win 8.
Yeah. So what is that?
To win 9.
5 and 6.
No. If they go 3-3 in the division, they have to win 10 out of the next 11 for the over to hit.
What? You
said the over was 12 games, right?
For the Chiefs, not for the Raiders.
Yeah, we're talking about the Chiefs.
Oh, I'm talking about the Raiders.
Oh, I was talking about the Chiefs. Thinking about under for the Chiefs.
Oh, they're not going 3-3 in the division. No way. They're going 4-2 or 5-1. They're not losing more than.
You're probably right.
The division, like they're not losing because if they go 3-3, they're not losing a game apiece to like the Broncos or Chargers.
Hey, a man can dream, can't he?
Huh?
A man can dream, can't he?
He can. Go ahead, dream.
Dream away.
Yep.
But just wake up before the season starts. What is it? Wake me up before September ends.
Yep.
Listen, 40-minute mark. That might be the longest video we've ever done.
Yeah, I think so.
And I would actually argue to say the best one. And not because of you. I feel like I was on fire today. I'm not going to lie. I just got a Bleacher Report update. What if this was Derek Carr traded to the... Oh, that's actually really unfortunate. Never mind. I don't want to talk about that because that's not the kind of show we have. Something bad happened with the Washington football team. If you want to look into it, go ahead and look into it. Listen, this was fun. Same time next week, around the same time. I don't know when we're
Who
going to
knows
actually
now? We could go noon, 1, 8.
Who knows? Who knows? West Coast show maybe next time. Who knows? We're definitely not watching the NBA Finals. That's for dang sure.
Right.
Yikes. Anyway.
Suns?
Huh?
Let's go Suns?
No. I like you said, like that's a question. Let's go Suns?
Yeah. Well,
Listen, guys, thanks for watching. You guys have been great. Please be sure to subscribe. It is free after all, no charge to you. Goodbye.